Josie, do you mind handing over your husband to me? He's definitely the type of man for me. Huh? I saw him yesterday at our reunion, and I saw that both you and him had come to see all your old classmates. You both came out of that really high-end car, right? Thank you for all the compliments. Right now, my husband is working for a car dealership and is the manager of the place. And he is a huge fan of custom cars, so he'll stay late a lot of the time doing all sorts of mods to his own car. I'll let him know that you think it looks very high-end. I'm not sure what all you mean by mods and things like that, but the car is very cool. It's amazing seeing such a cool and high-end car like that in this part of town where everyone's driving lame trucks all the time. And so, because of that, I'd like to have your husband. I'd really love to have a husband as cool as yours, and I'd love to be his wife. I thought the first time you said that it was just a compliment, but are you actually being serious right now? Saying that you want your friend's husband? You know I'm being serious about that, right? He is the #1 most wanted thing on my list. Seeing him get out of that cool-looking sports car with you really makes me want to tie the knot with him. Please don't say something as ridiculous as that, Nikki. Are you trying to show me that you still haven't gotten any better since the last time? Please hurry up and fix that behavior of yours, always asking for other people's things. It's not that I just want them, but that I physically yearn to have them. And now that I'm so jealous about him, I really can't get him out of my head. Now that I've started to remember everything again, in the past you always wanted things like my clothing and jewelry, right? I'd tell you no, but you'd keep coming back more and more aggressive about it. And in the end, I'd give in to you and just end up handing my things over. However, weeks later, I'd find you taking all the things you asked for from me and selling them online. For some reason, the moment I get a hold of what I want, I start to lose interest in it. I will want something with so much energy, but the moment I have it, I no longer care about it. And that's why you ended up throwing away my ex-boyfriend after taking him from me, right? And a month after learning all of that and no longer talking to you, you come back talking to me like nothing ever happened? And not just from you, but I got message after message from my ex asking for me to get back together with him. To be honest, my years in college really sucked because of you two. Oh, wow. Are you talking about what happened with you and Seth? Oh, that brings back some good old memories. Thanks for remembering that, Josie. I would never forget about something like that. He was the first boyfriend I had ever had then. Yet you made a huge deal about wanting my boyfriend from me and then stole him in the end. I thought telling you no that time would make you stop, but right when I thought everything was okay, he told me he was going out with you behind my back. Yet after wanting him so badly that you'd go through the effort of stealing him from me, you threw him away a month later. I loved it when you sent me that text a month later saying he was actually more boring of a man than you first thought. That was really funny of you. Well, I was being honest that he was super boring. Back when he was with you, he seemed a lot more fun and handsome. You always seemed to laugh and joke around together, and he seemed so into you. I really thought to myself that if I were able to date him, I'd be just as happy as you. But the moment I started going out with him, things were far from what I expected. He didn't even take me anywhere fun or expensive for dates and was just a complete stick in the sand. Well, then maybe it's time you stop trying to take other people's things expecting them to make you just as happy. Seriously, stop saying such idiotic things as you wanting my husband from me next, okay? Cut the crap and act your age, please. Learn that there is no reason for you to go out of your way asking for other people's things that you want, okay? You should only want the things that you truly want with your heart, and then get that thing with your own strength. Wanting someone else's things just because they love them so much has no meaning to it, and most likely won't make you any happier. I'm telling you that I only aim to get the things that I do want with all my heart. And it seems this time my heart really wants your husband from you. Are you kidding me? It's fine to want something that you think is going to be important to you, right? I've been wanting to get married for some time now, and your husband is important to me for achieving that. So that's why you should give him to me. This is getting nowhere with you, I see. I'm sorry, but can you stop talking to me from now on? If you find that things like what you've done and plan to do are totally ethical, then I don't think you and I can be friends.
Out of all the people you know, do you happen to know a Nikki who is saying they're your friend? For some reason, they have come to my office to see me.
What? There is this old friend of mine from back in college named Nikki, but are you talking about her?
Well, she keeps saying you both were in the same year during college, so I'd assume it's her. She's saying that she's here to buy a car for me, which is totally fine and all, but she thinks that since you're her friend, she could get one for $1,000.
Are you kidding me right now?
Right now, I have one of my employees handling her for me, but it seems she's getting a little troublesome for us here. She keeps yelling at everyone, saying that she's friends with the manager's wife, and that she should be allowed to see me. She's actually making a huge fit about it right now, saying that I need to come out there at once to see her. But I'm out of the office on my break right now. I'm sorry to ask this from you, but can you do something about her?
I'm so sorry, Richard. I do happen to know her, unfortunately, and I hope she's not causing too many issues for you. I feel really bad for whatever employee you asked to handle her.
I have to ask this again, but is she really from the same year as you in college? You are actually friends with someone as childish as her?
She might be an old classmate of mine, but we are no longer friends now, and honestly, never were. A lot of things happened, though, in school, and that made me cut things off with her. But at the most recent reunion we went to, I ran into her again. And even when we met then, she was being a freak about a bunch of things, and so I asked her to never contact me. And, well, now it seems she's brought herself to your place of work.
Is that right?
Well, for the time being, I'll handle all of this, so just leave it up to me. And you can stay out there taking your break while I deal with her, okay? I'll send you a text when things are all good. If I allow her to see you, things will only become worse for everyone, and I really don't want that.
Huh. What do you mean by that?
I believe that she's actually trying to get you more than that $1,000 deal on a car. I bet she'll try to get your number from you or something and use that as a way to start talking to you in private.
Why does she want my number? And why does she want to talk to me in private?
She told me after the class reunion.
Oh?
She said that she's really into you and that she wants me to give you to her. That chick has always had this problem with wanting whatever others have, especially me. And with me, it wasn't just my clothes or my jewelry that she wanted, but my boyfriend as well. Back in college, there were so many times when I had to deal with her.
Really? She's that messed up of a friend from back in college? I guess the both of us ended up having some really crazy friends back in those days.
Huh? The both of us did?
Recently, I had myself that class reunion, right? Well, during that reunion, I got into it with that crazy guy. He kept asking me to lend him my favorite car for a day, so that he could take it out where he wanted to go. And even though I told him no at least 20 times that day, he's been messaging me asking for it still.
Telling someone no, only to have them continue asking more aggressively, is just the worst, right? I guess the two of us will have to do our best to deal with these buffoons, all right? I'm going to get heading over to the dealership now and have a word with her about her behavior, okay? And let me just tell you once more to stay outside and let me handle everything. I don't want you coming back in until I tell you so. You really did a number on me, sending your own friend out of that place like that. I was going to buy a car from your husband for you and everything, yet you did me dirty. It's unbelievable that you'd throw out one of his valued customers like that. You're no customer of his asking that he sell you a car for something as ridiculously low as $1,000. And I know for a fact that you came there that day to get my husband for personal reasons, right? You probably thought you'd get him to come out and talk with you, and then have a chance at getting his number as well, right? I know everything that you want. Huh? How did you figure all of that out? Because you already told me a while back that you wanted him, and when you really do want something, you go all out. When we were in college, you made a huge deal about wanting my pen, and in order to get it from me, you broke the pen you had in your hands. And then cried about how you no longer had a pen that could write for you anymore, and that you needed to borrow a new one. You even told the professor that you just needed a pen for me for that one lecture. And so you took my bag from me and grabbed all my pens except one from in it. And never gave any of them back to me. I did something like that? I don't ever remember that. Even if you have no memory of what crap you were doing, I remember it all so well. Anyway, I don't want you talking to me anymore, please. And as for trying to get into my husband's dealership and making a fuss to see him, don't do it again. He would be more than happy to call the police next time and have you carried out of there for causing public disturbances. Huh? There's no way someone would call the police on one of their friends. You've really changed after getting married to him. The fact that you'd become this wild and scary towards someone who's pregnant is really beyond my understanding. Huh? You're pregnant? Right now, there's a very important baby living inside me. And the fact that you'd call the police on a pregnant woman like me is terrifying. So would you please stop it with that? If I gave a pre-birth due to all of that stress you caused me, what would you do? Hold on a second. Nikki, you're pregnant right now? Weren't you drinking loads of alcohol, though, at the class reunion we were all at just a little while back? And after that, I found out that I was pregnant. Of course, my body would choose that kind of timing, right? But who's to say it's bad timing for this, right? Now I'll be able to get what I want without it running away from me. When you say something like that, you're not implying that my husband is the father of that baby, right? Oh, well, that's exactly what I meant. Right now, I'm pregnant with your husband's child. I just had the pregnancy test taken a couple days ago, and that's how I learned I was pregnant. You're lying, right? There's no way that you could be pregnant with his baby, right? There is absolutely no way on the planet that you would have slept with my husband. Well, if you want proof that he did sleep with me, come take a look at my stomach. You understand that I can just never get myself to give up on things that I want, right? Right after you kicked me out of the dealership, I began to look up events and auto shows around here. You told me he loves his cars a whole bunch, so there was no way he wouldn't be at the shows I found. And when I went to one of them, bingo! I was able to find him that weekend at a car show, and I approached him. Really? He happens to have that really hot-looking sports car, so it wasn't hard for me to find where he was. I called out to him when I saw him get into his car, and he let me come right into the passenger seat with him without hesitation. He took me out of that event, and we went for a long drive together in the night. I don't think my husband would ever let another woman into the passenger seat of that car besides me. Well, it seems your husband was really looking for someone more my style, huh? All I had to do was act like I knew something about cars, and that got his heart to appear right in my grasp. He even said to my face that someone as sexy and knowledgeable about cars like me should be allowed to sit in his speedster. Thank goodness he was so open to me coming into his car like that, because he found out I really was his type of woman. What is going on with this super dramatic story of yours? Are you for sure that guy was my husband? We all know that he was your husband, and he took me into one of the mountains to stargaze on top of his car's hood. That was literally one of the best dates I've ever been on. You're telling me he fell for you so hard that he took you out to stargaze on top of his car? Your husband is already way more into me than he ever was into you. And the fact that he took care of me and my needs on the first night out just shows that. After all, the evidence of it is right in my belly waiting to come out someday. And so with that, I'd like you both to divorce really soon. I'm sure you don't want to make my baby grow up in a household where they will have no father to call their own, right? I seriously cannot get over the likes of you. You really did go to those lengths to try and get a hold of my husband and everything, huh? And you already know that I can never give up on getting what I want, right? I'll do anything and everything to get what I want, right? So you need to do what you've always done and just give up and hand him over to me. I'm already pregnant with your husband's kid before you could even get him to get you pregnant. I'm so sorry for stealing another man from you.
That guy isn't even my husband, though.
Huh?
So you can go ahead and have him. I have no plans of divorcing my husband, so go right ahead and have a great time with that baby of yours.
Now, hold on. What are you going on about now? What are you trying to say when you said he's not your husband? There's no way, right? Mitch is your husband, after all.
Really? Because that's not my husband's name. Actually, I have zero clue who that is, Nikki.
To think that you'd end up getting piped down by a guy that I've never even heard of before and letting him get you pregnant? Just, wow.
That really sucks.
Huh?
My husband's name is Richard, by the way. So who the hell is this Mitch you're talking about?
Excuse me, but the car that he was driving happened to be the same car that your husband was driving when he dropped you off at the reunion. I would never mistake the car your husband has for someone else's.
I believe you when you say that the car you had ridden in was the car of my husband. But on that day, it seems my husband lent that car to a friend of his to take out for a ride.
A friend? He loaned his car to one of his friends?
It was one of his old friends from college that just wouldn't stop asking him to lend it to him for a day. So my husband gave in and lent him the car for one day as his friend had asked for and promised.
So, with that being said, oh no, the man I called out to and asked to ride with wasn't your husband? He wasn't your husband at all, but rather his friend?
That's what it looks like to me. The man that let you ride in the passenger seat of my husband's car just turned out to be his old buddy. Not the man I love with all my heart.
What?
I started to think that whole story you were telling me was really strange halfway through. Like my husband would never go out to a car show and act like that. I don't think I'd ever be married to a guy like that, so that whole story you told made me laugh.
He's not like that?
Saying something about you being so well informed on cars and being so sexy that you should ride in his car is never a thing my husband would say to a woman he doesn't know. If anything, my husband is the opposite of that. The only thing that makes him seem cool is the fact that he rides in a car like that. But besides the car, he'd never talk to someone like you have, especially not when he's in his favorite car. And taking you on a ride up the mountain to a stargazing spot just to lay on the hood and have sex is a no-go for him. He isn't even the kind of guy who knows about a spot like that.
Well, you don't know about that. Maybe he just never takes you to spots like that. But when it came to a hot piece like me, he was more than excited to take me out there to make out.
My husband would never take someone on a mountain for their first date to watch the stars. He cares far more about the car itself and would always take me out to the mountains to run the roads like a rally car. He drove so fast on those crazy roads out there that he made me vomit 3 times before we stopped.
Are you serious?
I could never see my husband taking someone out to watch stars from a mountain when there are too good of roads there for him to pass up. Now, I'm not going to say much else about this, so go ahead and talk with your Mitch guy about it. Right now, you're pregnant with another man's baby and not my husband's.
This has to all be lies, right? I only went out with him because I thought he was your husband. I thought he was your husband, and that's why I let him make a baby in me. I don't need some baby with a man I know nothing about.
So you have to have a baby with someone that you want to steal? Well, then that's totally fine. My husband is telling me that Mitch has a wife.
What? He has a wife?
My husband just told me that when I asked him about it. He said he does think that Mitch has his own wife already. So this should make you happy then, right? You're able to steal that guy from another unlucky or lucky woman, depending on how she views it.
He does have a wife. Well, I'm taking him then. Hearing that he still does have another woman makes me feel a lot better again.
You really are one of the worst women on this planet, Nikki. Well, I'll do my best to help you get that Mitch guy in any way I can. I'll help you get him and his wife to get a divorce, all so that you can have yourself a husband, okay?
Really?
I'll hand his wife the video recorder from my husband's car so that she can see he's with you now. That camera should have the both of you going at it on the hood of my husband's car viewed clear as day. And when she sees it, I'm sure she'll want a divorce from Mitch.
Huh? There's a camera in the car? Hold on a second. That kind of help is not necessary. If you hand her evidence of him cheating on her, she could get a settlement from us. I'm happy to hear you want to help me get him, but something like that is a problem.
Huh? You don't want Mitch's wife getting a settlement from you? You already told me that you wanted my husband from me and that you took all those steps to get pregnant with who you thought was his baby, right? Had you really been with my husband for whatever reason, what makes you think I wouldn't get a settlement from the two of you?
You would? But you and I used to be good friends, right? That's the whole reason I wanted your husband in the first place, since I knew you wouldn't ask for money from one of your friends.
What?
But this guy is someone you don't know, right? And I'm sure his wife doesn't know me in any way, right? Since I'm not her friend by any means, she'll want to get a settlement from me.
Are you an idiot? And I mean, seriously, are you supposed to be with your parents right now or something because you're considered on the scale? You should know that even if you were my friend, I'd still ask for a settlement from you for something like that. If you really had slept with my husband and all of that, I would have made sure to get every last cent out of you and then some.
What? Is that so?
Now I'm going to go ahead and hand this evidence off to her, okay?
Listen, why did you do this to me? Mitch's wife really wants to get a settlement from me now because of you.
But in return for that, you'll have access to her husband, right? That's great for you. Congratulations on stealing yourself another man.
What is there to congratulate about all of this? I seriously don't think that by stealing someone's husband, they'd ask for this kind of money from me. I even carry a baby now, and yet I'm going to be forced to give up all my money to her?
Really? She's asking that much from you? I'd say the average amount a wife asks for during times like this is $10,000 or so, right? I understand that she'll probably get a lot from her husband in the divorce, but you ending up with no money after this is a little unbelievable, right?
Huh? It's because of your husband that I have no money left. You have no right mentioning something like that after what you both did to me.
Come on now, really? Are you going to be this pathetic now?
This shouldn't be happening to me. She's asking me to pay her $50,000 for getting in the car with her husband and getting pregnant with his child. I've never even heard of there being a settlement this big outside of court.
Well, he had signed a paper with my husband saying that while using his car, nobody else was to ride in it. So really, Mitch did break some rules and was going to piss off my husband a lot, whether he got you pregnant or not. Also, there was the rule about not smoking in the car, which he broke. And at the end of that contract he signed, it stated if any one of the rules was broken, there'd be a fine of $15,000.
So now you guys are going to get money from us as well? This is all bullcrap.
No, it's not. The real bullcrap here is that even after asking my husband over and over to borrow the car like that, Mitch still broke two of the most important rules and is now going to pay for it. He even told my husband that he only wanted to take the car out for a drive by himself. So that's another problem we can all add to this fire. You both really did it this time, right? My husband even had a look at the tank later and realized you both never filled it up after driving around. That wasn't in the rules, but it's kind of a thing in the car world to do that for others after taking someone's car for the day. It's crazy to think the only reason he wanted the car was to take a girl out for a one-night stand. Watching the video showed us everything. From the car show where he picked you up with that stupid phrase and took off with you, to the both of you stargazing on the hood. How does it feel knowing that that date will cost Mitch $15,000 and then some?
This isn't the time for jokes, Josie. Not only am I going to have to pay $50,000 to his wife for cheating with him, but I'll also have to help pay that $15,000? I cannot believe something as stupid as this is happening to me. I'm the victim of a long chain of misunderstandings.
Oh, you are? I don't think calling yourself the victim here is going to get you any sympathy. You were the one asking for all this to happen long ago. And after all those warnings telling you to stop asking, you never listened and got your prize. This is what happens when you keep stealing what others have.
But I just wanted all those things. I was just so jealous of everything, so envious. I just wanted everything to be in my hands and nobody else's.
You're going to become a mother in another few months, so can you please grow up a little? You cannot raise your kid to think that it's okay to steal whatever you want when it's not yours. You are now in the position where you'll be a mother soon, and you have to be responsible for that. You chose to get pregnant in the hopes that you'd be able to get yourself a husband, but there is a price to something like that when the man you made a father is someone else's husband.
Huh?
Now stop crying about how hard your life is now and get a frickin' grip on it. I get that you will have to lose all your money in a few days, but nobody besides yourself cares about that. Not even me. After that, my husband took the car that both Mitch and Nikki rode in and spent the whole day cleaning everything out, from the seats to the hood. He then took the bill for all those cleaning supplies and added that to the list of things that needed to be paid by those two. Later, the both of them ended up getting married to one another, but only because Nikki was pregnant with his kid. But now they're both living in a really cramped apartment that'll only become more cramped after the kid comes. However, it seems that even after marrying Nikki, Mitch wasn't over his itch to cheat, and one day he left Nikki at the apartment all by herself to meet another woman. And right there, Nikki began to realize what was happening to her husband and started to understand what it felt like having something you want and love be stolen by someone else. She even began to scream profanities about the new woman he was sleeping with, calling her horrible things because she was with him all the time. This also led to her questioning why the other woman would do such a thing when Mitch's wife is pregnant with his baby. And a few days after all those outbursts, she went out to find him and his new woman and started freaking out on the both of them. However, something like this should never be coming out of her mouth, right?
Please help, Mom. Can you please allow us to come and stay at your house for a little while? Right now, we are in a bit of a financial pinch.
Huh? Axel? What kind of pinch have you gotten yourselves into that you need to be coming to me for?
Well, to be honest with you, recently I want to change jobs, right? And well, this new job is actually paying me a lot less than my previous one. Which, I know, it is a bit strange and all that, but I told you before that the benefits are better.
I think you told me you're going to this place to take more time off work, or have the ability to at least, right? Wasn't it something about how you could take time off work because your wife is working a great job and her income would be able to support you two for a little bit now? And you followed that up with saying you both have good savings, so you didn't have to worry about being off work.
And that's the way things should have been, but, well, Trina ended up quitting her job without asking me about it first.
What? Trina did that? Why would she do something like that? Was there something wrong with the company she'd been working at?
It's not that there was something wrong there. She just had the wrong idea of things and accidentally quit.
Huh? Wrong idea of things?
She assumed that since I was moving to a different job, my pay would be better there. So she thought that with me getting a new job, I was also being paid another couple grand or so every year. So she believed that this was her chance to finally become the housewife she's always dreamed of becoming.
What's up with that?
She's always told me about how much she wanted to stay at home. But I've only ever been making base pay at my job, so that was never possible for her. So she must have thought that the reason I was changing jobs was to get a better salary for her to be able to leave her job.
That's just terrible!
And actually, for the longest time now, I left her in charge of handling payments on the house and for food. So when I took a look at our savings, there was nothing in there. We haven't had anything in our accounts for months now, I think.
You don't even have a penny in your savings account? You're joking, right? You both have been working jobs and don't even have kids, yet there's no money in your savings account? There's really nothing in there?
We have both done a terrible job at holding on to our money. I have tried my best not to overspend on things, but maybe somewhere along the way I went a little overboard? I'm sure it has something to do with me not checking my bank accounts enough. I hate this!
Not checking your bank accounts?
Just know that right now, I don't make as much as I used to, and Trina is without a job. And since we have no savings, we can't afford to live here anymore. So please, Mom, can you let the two of us come and live with you just until we have enough money to move out again?
Well, if this is all that's happened to you, I have no other choice. Your room is still open in this house, so the two of you come back here and stay as long as you need. I'm your mom, after all, so I'll do what I can to help.
Thank you. We'll get all of our things together then, and move back to your place. I'm so sorry if this is causing you any trouble, Mom.
Hey! Trina, what the hell is this? Why have you asked for a remodeling company to come into my house without asking me first?
I don't like living in an old house like this one, so I'm thinking of having them take out the old wooden flooring and add in some soft, fresh carpeting. Why are you sending all of those men away now? I just had to go all the way to their company and say sorry to all of them for what you've done. It's all your fault, Dorothy, for being so selfish about this house.
Huh? What do you mean I'm being selfish about my house? This is my house, Trina. You are not supposed to be asking for someone to come in and remodel someone else's house.
What are you talking about? Starting today, the house is supposed to be our house.
What?
How long did you think you could keep acting like this place is only your house for? Stop trying to be a selfish old grandma about this old place that we're all living in now.
Hold on a second, Trina. What are you trying to say right now? This is still my house right now. You guys were having some financial troubles before this, so I was being kind and letting the two of you stay here until you got back on your feet.
What was that? Oh my. I believe you've started to have signs of dementia now, Dorothy. Oh, believing something like that to be true?
Huh? Believing what?
This is your son Axel's house now. When your husband had passed away, he planned on giving this house to your son. But your son is such a nice man that he decided to let you stay in the house since you aren't making any money anymore. However, it looks to me like you didn't get the memo and think that this place has always been yours.
Trina, all of this about my husband giving Axel the house and allowing me to stay in it, did Axel tell you all of this?
He would never tell me all the small details about your husband's will and all of that, right? But normally the deceased man's house is always given to his son. And Axel is the only son of your household, right? So after your husband passed away, it's only natural that he gave this house to Axel and wanted him to live here.
In other words, that's what you've led yourself to believe?
You're the only one that's led yourself to believing lies. That house isn't even yours, yet you think that it is and keep telling everyone that with confidence. I don't want you forgetting this time that we're the ones allowing you to stay here, not the other way around. And from today, we, the ones who own the house, are going to start living in it again.
What should I do about this? You seem to not want to listen to me.
The next time I have people over to remodel the house, you'd better not tell them to leave. If you do, I will not forgive you, okay? Allow me to make this place as perfect as I can for myself so I can actually enjoy living here. This house is under Axel's name after all, and as his wife, that makes this place mine as well.
Hello? Why is the front door locked now? Hurry up and let me back into the house.
Nope, you're not coming back into this house. I have had it up to here with you, Dorothy. And so I'm having you moved out of this house today. I'll be throwing all your things out of the house one by one, so grab them all and leave.
I'm not messing around anymore, Trina. Why do I have to be the one to leave my own house at the will of you?
Stop all of that, you old goof. This place is not your house, and you need to stop believing in all those lies you led yourself into believing. This is the house that your son was given when his father died. In other words, it's both his and my house. Yet, because of his crappy old mother, I'm not able to get any contractors in here to start remodeling the place.
Huh?
Anytime I've asked them to come in and tear out the flooring or repaint the walls, you tell them to stop what they're doing and get out. I'm really starting to believe that you have something out for me, and that's why you're not letting me have my way in my house. So I've had enough of this BS where I have to let my stupid mother-in-law live with me.
Why are you trying to act like the victim here? You're the one that's trying to break apart my beautiful home. I'm allowed to stop you from doing that to my home, so that's what you're witnessing. Now, will you stop acting like a complete buffoon and leave my house be?
You are the worst. I really want them to come in and tear up this house so that I can have a gorgeous new home. I've finally become a housewife and everything and need a wonderful home to complement me. I want a house where I can sit at home all day and do nothing.
Huh? Wait a second. Trina, you think you're still allowed to be a housewife right now? Aren't you aware that the money Axel is making now is less than what he was bringing in before?
Well, if he's not making as much as before, he just needs to work harder to get it back up. He should just work more every week to make up for that loss, right?
What? You understand the reason why Axel changed jobs in the first place, right? Before, he wasn't able to get any time off at the previous company and had to work all the time. At certain points, he was working 60-hour work weeks. So that's why he left that place and joined a new company that allowed him to take some time off. Why would he go to a new company allowing him to work less just to have to start working more hours again? There's no reasoning in that.
But I don't want to work anymore. I didn't get the wrong idea of anything. Rather, I just got tired of working. And now that I'm a housewife, finally, I am not giving it up.
What?
Ever since I was a little girl, I've always dreamed of the day I could become a housewife. I wanted to become a wife who could wait all day in her cozy home for her husband to get home. And now that that dream has come true for me, I'm not going back to work.
Yet now that you're home all day, you still don't do any of the chores for him.
Well, that's because I hate doing chores. That's why I'm not going to put too much effort into the place. I'm going to have a beautiful house to lay in all day as I wait for my husband to return home.
Excuse me?
But as long as you're in this house, that dream will not come true. You keep acting like this is your house due to you becoming senile or something, right? And you keep kicking out all the contractors I asked to come in, causing me a real headache. So I can no longer allow you to get in my way anymore. You senile old geezer need to get out of my house.
We're the ones that are getting kicked out of this house.
Huh?
I got a call from my mom. If she came back home from work to be here? What the hell is going on here? Who the hell do you think you are, saying something like that to my mom, asking her to leave her house?
You're asking me who I think I am? I'm the wife who owns this house with you. Who does she think she is? She says that this house is supposed to be hers, even though it's meant for you and me. You were the one that got this house from your dad in his will. So go and tell her to get out of this house if she's going to act this way towards us.
You stop all of that right now. How many times do I have to explain this to you before you understand what's going on? This house is the place that Mom got from Dad in his will. The land and the house, all of it are hers now. Her name is on all of it if you'd like to look that up.
What?
Right now, we should be on our hands and knees thanking her for allowing us to stay here. Yet, it's only been a few days since we moved in here, and you're already asking for trouble from her. Well, I'm not going to let you cause any more trouble. We are going to hurry up and get all our things together and get out of this house.
Wait, hold on a minute. What? Axel? What are you even talking about? You don't have to keep acting all nice towards your mother like that. You are the one and only son of this family, and this is your house, right? When your father was passing away, he gave this house to you, right?
I'm asking you to please tell me what's made you think that. Are you trying to tell me that where you're from, that's the normal thing that happens? Well, even if it is, I'm sorry, but my dad didn't leave me anything in his will. He didn't give me the house, or the land, or even the money. Instead, asking that it go all to his wife.
Huh?
That's why I'm not sure how many more times I'll have to say this, but it's all my mom's. I had to ask her with every bit of my soul to allow us to come back and live here with her.
Huh? Is that right? I just assumed that you were being a really nice son to make sure that she had a place to live and all that. And that's why this time I wanted her out of the house for being such a jerk. I just thought that every time she told me she was the owner of this house, she was lying to me.
I'm getting tired of you trying to act like this is our house and that she's the one lying. You already started this whole process off with a bad step, as you thought me changing jobs just meant my salary would increase. And so instead of talking with me first about it, you just left your job at that company. And now your next step is trying to kick my mom out of her own house because you think it's yours?
What the heck? It's not my fault that I had the wrong idea about all of this. They always talk about this stuff online and on the news, right? Saying for people to change their jobs for better pay and all that. I didn't think that you going to a different job would mean you'd make less money per month.
I told you about that so many times though. I said that my new job would pay me less and we might have to make do with that in some way. But as a result of that, I'd get more time off work and would be able to spend more time with you. Did you listen to a dang word I was telling you all those times?
Well...
You didn't listen to crap, right? You heard me say I was getting a new job and that in your head translated to you being a housewife and being able to relax all the time. You don't want to work anymore and just want to spend all day sitting around at home. You've always been talking about that, right? I'm going to open the lock to the front door right now, and when I'm inside, both you and I are packing up our things and leaving. Before you cause any more problems for my mom, I'm going to have the two of us leave her place.
I don't want to leave, though. I am not leaving this house, whether you want me to or not. I'll open up the door for you, but I will not be leaving this house.
Excuse me?
Listen, I've already bragged to everyone about this house now. And I told them all that because you found a new job, I can finally be a housewife. And I even bragged about how we would be remodeling your whole house to make it more cozy for me. I am not going to turn around and have to tell all of them that we had to leave this place.
I'm surprised to see that you think you're in the place to talk to me like that. It's all because of you that we're being kicked out.
Even if that's the case, it's impossible for me to leave now. Also, it's not just that I bragged to everyone about it. I already signed that contract having the company come in to remodel the place. Having the whole place remodeled will cost $150,000. And I've already paid over $15,000 in advance.
What?
That's why I'm telling you that leaving this house is not possible. If I leave right now, that $15,000 will vanish. And I don't even have any savings, so I was planning to pay it off with some loans.
Hey. Hold on a second. To think that you've gone this far off the rails.
I thought that having a beautiful new home for us would make you happy as well, right? That's why I already started with signing that contract and everything for us. You and I can still live here, and we can get your mom to forgive me. Then everything can go back to normal, right?
I am so far gone now from all the crap that you've just told me that I don't even want to talk to you anymore. Mom and I will go find a hotel somewhere and stay the night there. When all of us have calmed down a bit, we could start from square one again.
It's been a little bit now, Trina. Have you calmed down a little now?
Dorothy! I'm so sorry for having the wrong idea about everything this whole time. I will apologize to you for everything that's happened. So please, don't kick me out of the house. If you do that, then the $15,000 I handed over will go to waste. And all of the things I've told my friends will be lies.
Calm down, Trina. I've understood everything that's gone on here and taken some time to think about it. I think I've had enough, and will give you that house now.
What?
And then I'll leave that house like you've been asking me. That should make you happy, right?
Are you for real? You're going to give the house to us now?
Well, you told us that you'd never leave the house, right? And I understand not wanting to waste all the money you've already put into the place. At this point, the only option for me is to leave the house.
Thank you so much, Dorothy. You seem to understand me a lot more than I first thought you would. Once we have the house completely remodeled, you can come over to hang out with us anytime you want.
I don't think I will. I've planned on moving somewhere far away, so it'd take me some time to come to you.
Where are you planning on moving to now? You seem like the kind of woman that would love to move to the countryside and live the rest of your life stress-free.
That's right. I'll be going out to your parents' house to live there. I'll be out in the countryside there, and they said they'd look after me from now on.
Huh? You'll be moving out to my parents' house?
I feel like me talking to you about the reason for this would never get through that thick skull of yours. Actually, just yesterday I was over with your parents talking to them. I told them that their daughter had stolen my house from me, and then asked them how they'd repay me for that.
What did you say?
Your parents were left speechless when I brought that up to them, but they were mature enough to get on their hands and knees and apologize to me. I'm so sorry about my stupid daughter, is what your dad told me. And then they told me I'd be allowed to live with them. What a great idea from the both of them. They said they'd throw all your things out of your old room and have me move into it.
Huh?
And on top of all that, they'll be treating me like the house is a bed and breakfast. I also told them that while you were staying in my house, you never did any chores or anything to help out. So in exchange for that, they'll be doing all the chores for me as another way of apologizing for that. They said they'd be taking responsibility for everything you had done to me.
You're lying, right?
You really did nothing for me while in my house. Things like your laundry, cleaning your room, and cooking for you. You asked me to do all of it. And each time you told me to do it for you, you said you'd handle it the next time. Like those days where I would make dinner for you, but you'd say that you weren't in the mood for meat or fish and tell me to make you something else. Do you want me to start saying things like that to your parents for you?
That's all crap, right? Wait, you're going way too far with this. I'm not playing games anymore, you old geezer hag.
Oh?
Getting my parents involved in all of this is just not okay. And the fact that they took apart my room in that house for you to stay? Asking them to take care of you like you're one of their kids?
I love that you're telling me not to do something like this after doing the exact same thing at my house. You asked for me to do everything for you when I was already giving you a roof to sleep under. And when you had enough of me, forced me out of the house because you thought it was all yours to keep.
Well, that was...
You can go ahead and keep that house to yourself now. Go ahead and remodel it all you want. But I'm going to do the same to your parents' house now. I'm going to act like a spoiled brat, just like you, and have it all my way here. I'll even make sure to have contractors in here next week to start working on remodeling the place.
Shut the hell up! And stop all of that!
Then can you shut the hell up and leave my house? Telling me that you hate having the tables turned on yourself like this. Did you never learn in school not to do things you dislike to others?
What should I do? My parents are starting to blow up my phone with messages. My parents are both very strict about how they handle things. They are definitely going to be furious with me this time.
That's right, and I'm just as furious as they are. I might look as though I'm calm right now, but deep inside me, there is a fire burning and it's going to overflow really soon.
It's not my fault that all of this is happening.
I told your parents they raised a really great girl. Quitting her job without talking to her husband about it first and not being good at any kinds of chores. And that you've never saved any of your earned money. You can't do any chores, nor do you want to, and your dream is to become a housewife? I told them that your dream has come true. And when I did that, they both blew up.
You've only gone and made them more upset with me. My parents are going to never let this go now. What should I be doing here? They just told me they're coming here today to see me? I can tell right now they will both drag me back to their place with them.
Then how about today we all go and meet up at my house? I want to get all my things together in order to move into your parents' house. Make sure to leave the door unlocked for all of us. Now, I'll be seeing you very soon. After that, Trina's parents went into my house and her mother laid a great punch on her daughter's face before her and her husband dragged her back to their house. And for the time being, they will both be retraining their daughter to become a proper adult. According to the rumors, she was forced to start working for a family member's company. And she'll be working there until she's made the $15,000 she needs to pay off the contractors. And that company she's now a part of happens to be a remodeling company, where she can work hours upon hours remodeling other houses the way she had always dreamed of having done for herself. And while that's all been happening, my son has been putting in a lot of work in his new company, trying to make enough money to move on with things. He's already started talking to me about how he wants to divorce Trina, and that's why he needs all the money he can get to move out of my house and leave here. No matter how well she is retrained into being a good person, she will have no place back in this family ever again. And when it comes to her dreams of being a housewife, well, she can just kiss all of them goodbye, because there is no way she'll ever be able to make that dream come true after her parents have finished their work on her.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.